the hallways, the elevators don't work, and there's no doctor on call. Now, isn't that frightening? And yet, we actually had real infrastructures in place that we could have actually built into something so that we could make sure that our older people, when they get to be old on crutches and canes, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? They get to be a little older.
Well, is it too late?
I don't know. I don't know. If we get some of our young people to thinking, and they actually they develop some mathematical skills that we could use, then it might not be too late.
Well, Mr. Black, I've been giving that some thought. I mean, really, seriously, man, I've been giving this some thought. Well, this took 100 years to create, to build. And in 1965, the parties and the awards banquet shows and stuff starts, and now it's gone. I think there's an unrealistic expectation that you're going to build that back.
That's impossible.
In a few years.
You can't build that back.
No.
That is impossible. That was here can never be built back. People walked away from that. And you're not going to build that back. If you're going to ever build something, you have to look forward and you have to build something. Now what you can do, and what I tried to do, I remember about, well, how long ago was that I asked everybody to go down to Mount Bayou.
About 5 years ago.
And what we tried to do was take everyone to Mount Bayou. And the reason that we had everyone go to Mount Bayou is so they could see the old hospital. You know about the hospital, right? No?
Building's still there.
They could see the bank.
It's still there.
They could actually see where the old lumber yard was and the brick making yard was. See, it was in Mount Bayou. The hospital was put there by Moses Dixon and his disciples. Moses Dixon was a part of a group called the Sons and Daughters of the Knights of Tabor. They came out of Independence, Missouri. Y'all know about this story, right? You've learned about it. Everybody here knows about it, right?
No, sir.
I want to know how y'all gonna put something together, how y'all gonna put something in place, and you don't have any idea about what has been here. I'm trying to figure that one out. I'm trying to figure that one. You know what? Every time I'm down, that's why y'all think I'm crazy. I know we sitting down there, and all these kids get to spouting out with the mouth, and I walk out, or I'll say something, and everybody gets upset, and I leave. You think I'm being rude or something. No, I'm not. It's just that I know nonsense when I'm listening to it. You see, they're talking about what they're going to do. Well, you know what? It's hard to talk about what you're going to do if you can't talk about what you've already done. In this case, now something has already been done. Well, if you have something that you are going to do, but you don't know everything about what has already been done, I bet you lying.
You know what, man?
I would bet any money you lying.
The mindset changed so much about controlling your own and having your own that a woman broke her ankle coming out of City Hall down there.
Oh, my body?
Yeah. And all so-called black jury awarded her enough money to bankrupt the city.
That's right. That's right.
This ain't been that long ago.
But what he's really telling you about now is how so-called black people actually behave with so-called black people. How they misuse each other and how they actually misuse their children. And hopefully, if we're going to do this right, we're going to stop lying to each other. And we're going to stop providing each other with nonsense and actually try to go and find where people were doing this correctly. What was this movie, Great Debaters? You watched it? You watched it. Now, the young heavyset guy who was one of the debaters, what was his name again?
James Farmer.
James Farmer. And what was his father's name? Oh, y'all didn't pay attention. James Farmer's father. Okay, good. Now, how many languages did he speak? 7 languages. His father spoke 7 languages. That was in that movie. The average person didn't see that part of the movie. Why didn't they see that part of the movie? You know the part of the movie they saw? They saw something going on with Denzel that was a lie about something that didn't really happen.
What?
I'm not telling you. You gotta watch the movie.
I watched the movie.
Well, now what you have to do is you have to do the research that will allow you to see what's the lie and what's the truth.
I did some on his character Tulsa.
Okay.
I'm just saying, from my research, he was more than just what the movie portrayed. He was a poet. He also became the mayor.
Okay.
He was a communist.
I think that in that movie they were talking about the one-drop law, and they were also talking about the Willie Lynch letter. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that in the movie?
Yeah.
Willie Lynch is a farce. There's no such thing. So why was it in the movie?
I remember that distinctly. I remember asking
Now
myself.
we can go on and on, see, because now we can talk about some things like the fact that James Farmer was one of the founders and was the orchestrator of the sit-in movements. All right? He became, I think, the head of CORE, Congress of Racial Equality.
And how old was he when he was in college?
14, I think. Well, he might have been less than 14.
14.
But then wait a minute, let's really get to this. In some of these movies, they always talk about Martin Luther King. What was his name at birth? Michael. So what I need you to do is some research that will allow you to see some things that are just lies, so that now you can see truth when you can see it. But if we go in with predisposition of thinking, we're not going to see this. The predisposition of thinking will not allow us to actually hear what is being transmitted. Next thing you know, we'll go in actually with AM amplifiers. I might be transmitting on FM. If I'm transmitting on FM and all you have is AM amplifier, what are you getting? That's all. What you call white noise. Static. I'm listening.
So you say he was a farce, so you
But Willie Lynch? No, I didn't say that. I said the Willie Lynch letter was a farce.
But I learned about that in history, though.
You learned about what in history?
The Willie Lynch letter.
You can't have learned about the Willie Lynch letter. If you learned about the Willie Lynch letter, you would have learned it is a farce. It never happened.
You do the etymology on the language.
No, you can go in and look it up and it will tell you that it came out of a lady up in St. Louis, a librarian. She was following up on what a young reporter had put together in a story. But when the work has actually been done and taken apart, that never happened. That's a farce if you really study it. How can you study it? You can go in and look at the way the language of the letter is constructed. Half the words in there, you ever looked up a word in your dictionary and there's a date next to the word?
Yeah.
In your dictionary right now, when you look up words, there should be a date around some words. Half the words in the letter weren't even created.
Yeah.
How can the letter be real? Now let's say the letter's real.
We can't say
No. Let's say the letter's real. That's what you just did a minute ago.
But I didn't know.
Let's say the letter's real. Let's say it's real for a minute. Let's do that for a second. You sure giving somebody a whole lot of credit.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Ain't that something?
He just
You
smarter
mean
than
to tell
ever
me you actually think somebody could actually do that? That's possible. Well, if that's possible according to your thoughts, then why haven't you done it? Why haven't you been able to put something together that counters what was done since you think it's real? Come on now, I'm waiting. You catch my drift, huh? Well, how about this? Wait a minute, I'm sorry, what?
If he did do that, that's gonna take work too.
Wait a minute, let's do this. Let's go all the way into here. Now we got a Willie Lynch character. What's the date?
It's 16.
Oh, now we don't have a date.
It's in the late 1600s.
Now we don't have a date. Ain't that something?
What is that?
Okay, where'd it come from?
West Indies.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
All right, how do you spell Jamaica?
Which one? Which version?
Jamaica. Well, see, Jamaica was what before it was English? When it became Jamaica with a J, English. when it belonged to somebody else before it got to England, before they took it, before they stole it from other thieves, it was with an X.
That was
So now we got, yes, so now we got to figure out the place and what we're dealing with. Now, where this supposed to come from? Jamaica. And he gets to Jamestown. Is that right? What is Jamestown? Where's Jamestown?
in Virginia.
Oh, it's in Virginia. And tell me about this compact out of Virginia.
It's allegedly where the first English settlers landed.
Oh, you know what we're going to have now? Now we're going to have a problem with dates. Because now we got